For a player who has been on a team with Kevin Durant and Westbrook, then Kevin Durant and Kyrie, then Kawhi and Paul George, and still never won a championship, James Harden is pretty unique. Even back in 2019, when he was averaging 36 points per game and looked completely unstoppable, Kobe Bryant looked at his style and said,
I don't think that style is ever going to win championships.
Over the next several years, other NBA legends and experts started to notice the same pattern with Harden.
He ain't step up yet. All that talk about, we should be uplifting brothers and all that. I uplift my brothers by telling them the truth. I'm not a yes man, okay? You ain't show up yet, so you got to win the championship.
I'm not going to lie, I am in shock.
I'm going to tell you the tough truth about James Harden. He's just a loser. He's just the biggest loser. James Harden has the basketball backbone, the playoff basketball backbone of a jellyfish.
So, is it that they all just hate him, or is he just unlucky? Well, it starts with Kobe, and then it wasn't hate or lack of luck. When Kobe said Harden's style wouldn't win, he said it while actually admiring what Harden could do with the ball.
Yeah, it's easy to defend. Now, what he's doing is absolutely remarkable, though, and I think it's a testament to how remarkable it is because people are now trying to minimize what it is that he's doing. I mean, he's doing some phenomenal stuff.
Indeed, Kobe openly admired what Harden was doing. I mean, how could he not? During the 2018-19 season, Harden averaged 36 points per game, the highest scoring average in more than 3 decades. He produced one of the greatest individual offensive seasons the league had ever witnessed, dragging Houston through injuries while putting up numbers that felt almost impossible in the modern NBA. The statistics were historic, and the results were spectacular. But the issue was not his skill, it's the system around it. And that's what Kobe had issues with then.
So are you saying you don't think James Harden and the Rockets, as constructed, can win a title?
Not with this style of play, it won't win, right? With one player dominating the ball. Now when you have Chris Paul come back and you have more movement to the offense, where you move guys around, where you're harder to find.
And Chris Paul's back, but you mean more in the...
Yeah, because listen, if you take one player, you put him at the top of the key, or you put him on the wing, and you're running screen rolls, you're always in front of the defense. The defense can key on that, particularly in the playoffs. And that's easy to defend.
Kobe was talking about a system that wouldn't survive when things get tough and tight. During this time, Houston's offense revolved around one idea: give James Harden the basketball, spread the floor, run a high screen, and let him attack. And it worked during the regular season, but playoff basketball is when the heat gets hotter. But you know what caught my attention? Data brokers. They can have all kinds of my information and I wouldn't even know it. So my sponsor, Cloaked, basically called me out. They were like, put your number in our site and see what comes back. I figured, sure, whatever, bro. My social security was sitting there for sale. I wasn't expecting that at all. And look, most people have no idea this is even happening. Data brokers are out here making billions off your personal information, selling it to spammers, scammers, whoever's buying. And the crazy part? You technically said it was okay. It was just buried so deep in some terms and conditions that nobody actually read it. They're literally counting on you not caring enough to do anything. And honestly, most people don't. Now, a lot of apps out there will just go and remove your info after the fact, which is cool, but that's not really fixing anything. Because the second you sign up for something new, you're right back at square one. That's the part that nobody's actually solving. Which is why I use Cloaked. Yeah, they scrub your data and pull it off these broker sites. But honestly, that's not even what I think is the coolest part. The app lets you spin up unlimited burner emails, phone numbers, usernames, whatever you need every time you're signing up for something. You can actually call, text, and email straight through the app using those burners. So, when data brokers go looking, there's nothing to find. They paid for information that leads nowhere. You basically just wasted their time. And they also watch the dark web for your info. They have a VPN built in, a password manager, AI that filters spam calls, and they'll cover you with a $1 million identity theft insurance policy. Like, it's all just in there. So go to cloaked.com/hoopers. Put your number in and run the free scan. It literally takes like 10 seconds. You can see for yourself if your social security is out there right now. And the longer you sit on it, the more your info keeps getting passed around. If you're ready to actually do something about it, use cloak.com/hoopers and you'll get 30% off any plan. That's cloak.com/HOOPERS. Across a 7-game series, elite defenses spend days preparing for every tendency, every dribble, every preferred move. The more one player controls every possession, the easier it becomes to build an entire defensive game plan around him. That was Kobe's point. But as time went on, many more people saw that it wasn't only limited to Houston or who was around James Harden. It also applied to who he was. Yes, James Harden has skill, but the rest of who he is became a problem that even his early supporters couldn't ignore. Take Charles Barkley, for example. He once called James Harden the best player in the world.
And I know I'm going to probably get criticized for saying this. This guy might be the best basketball player in the world. I mean, he might be the best player in the world. I've always thought he was the best offensive player. He wasn't as great as Michael and Kobe. But I said a few years ago, and people laughed at me, he's the best offensive player I've ever seen. But right now, no disrespect to LeBron or Giannis or anybody, James Harden might be the best basketball player in the world, period.
But how are you going to be called the best player in the world with no championship? And then you say you don't feel any pressure to win a championship. Chuck certainly couldn't believe it.
James Harden, you said you don't feel no pressure. Man, you better think again. Them people in Philadelphia ain't going to be having you going out there playing bad. So you can say, I don't call it deflection or whatever, you got more pressure on you than any player in the playoffs.
And as the postseason disappointments piled up, Barkley became increasingly stunned by what he was watching.
I'm not going to lie, I am in shock. I saw it somewhere, I can't remember where. He's had 29 games where he's had more turnovers than field goals made in a game as a great player. That's one of the most shocking stats I've ever seen on a guy who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, 29 times, Dan, he's had more turnovers than field goals in a playoff game. That's impossible. I mean, I'm like, whoa, you can have a bad turnover game. You can have 2, maybe 3, but you should, you got to have more field goals. But to have it 29 times.
Think about what that number actually means. More turnovers than made field goals. Not once, not twice, but nearly 30 different playoff games. For a role player, that's concerning. But for an MVP and one of the greatest offensive players ever, it's almost unbelievable. Here again, you can see that Barkley's argument isn't that Harden lacks talent. It was that when the games become slower, tighter, and more physical, the mistakes seem to multiply alongside the pressure. Then another NBA legend saw it too.
He ain't step up yet. All that talk about, we should be uplifting brothers and all that. I uplift my brothers by telling them the truth. I'm not a yes man, okay? You ain't show up yet, so you got to win the championship. All that making it to the finals, you're supposed to make it to the finals. You're supposed to make it to the finals, but you're also supposed to win. I want to see some people win.
But his message echoed Kobe's in an entirely different way. Regular season success wasn't the question anymore, not even reaching the finals. The only remaining question was whether it translated when championships were on the line. Then, after yet another disappointing playoff performance, Shaq summarized Harden's postseason reputation in just a few words.
They're doing this. James is, doing what James usually does, disappearing. And we already showed the plays where they have no effort in.
Now, another NBA legend saw it. Different personality, but same concern. By now, Kobe's original warning no longer sounded like one man's opinion, and it was becoming a pattern. The NBA media also has its legends, and Stephen A. Smith is one of them. And for him, James Harden doesn't receive enough credit for his greatness. He praised Harden's scoring titles, offensive brilliance, and historic numbers. But eventually, even Stephen A. couldn't ignore what kept happening every spring. After another disappointing playoff run, he didn't focus on emotion. He focused on the numbers.
In the first round series against the Raptors, he averaged 20 on 45% shooting, 38% from three. No problem there. Pistons, 19.6 points, 38% shooting, 29% from three. Conference Finals, 16 points, 39% from the field, 18% from three-point range. 8 clutch time games, 3-5 record. 35% shooting from the field, 20% shooting from three-point range, 50% shooting from the free throw line. Wow. This is James Harden in clutch time.
The deeper the playoffs went, the further the production seemed to fall. And then came another stat that perfectly illustrated the criticism surrounding Harden's style.
Harden, in 4 conference finals games against the Knicks, 12 assists. Didn't he say he was passing the ball? Didn't he say passing the ball? Getting guys shot? Ain't that what he said? Ain't that what he said? 12 assists in 4 games.
How many?
17 turnovers.
It was becoming clear to everyone the phenomenon that James Harden was. Kobe limited it to what would happen to a team that depended on one man, but actually it was really about what happens to someone who doesn't do well under pressure. Now, even one of Harden's biggest supporters was asking whether the same style that made him one of the greatest regular season players ever was becoming his biggest obstacle. By the time James Harden reached his 4th team, the criticism had changed. The question was, could regular season James Harden remain himself when it mattered most? No one represented that shift more dramatically than Skip Bayless. Skip pointed to a pattern that captures what the NBA legends had been saying. He began by walking through the evidence, beginning with Harden's very first NBA Finals in 2012.
Cleveland, why would you do this to yourself? Chapter and verse of James Harden. It started early on with those baby Thunder in 2012, getting to the finals against LeBron. LeBron's breakthrough year. Me and D Wade, Chris Bosh. Oklahoma City wins game 1, loses barely game 2. So I'm thinking, well, we'll have an interesting run here. And we go to Miami for 3 games. I was there, of course. And games 3 and 4 are disasters.
That finals has become one of the forgotten chapters of Harden's career. After Oklahoma City won game 1 against Miami, many believed the Thunder were on their way to a championship. Instead, Harden averaged just 12.4 points per game over the final 4 losses, while shooting under 38% from the field. It wasn't the last time the biggest stage seemed to produce his quietest performances.
Let's leap forward to 2015. The Rockets losing 5 to Golden State. Closeout game at Golden State. James Harden goes 2 of 11 from the floor, 0 of 3 from 3, with an NBA playoff record, 12 turnovers. Remember that game? 12 turnovers, closeout game.
An NBA record 12 turnovers in a closeout game. Again, the criticism wasn't simply about missing shots. It was about the offense collapsing when everyone was expecting James Harden to deliver during crunch time. This is just who James Harden is.
6'5", lefty, slither, can get to the free throw line and get your bigs to the rim. Okay, I got it. So all of a sudden you say, let's bring Evan Mobley and Jared Allen back to life on the offensive end. I got it. When you least expect it, when you need him most, in some closeout game in the first round, or this, you make it fortunately enough to the second round, he won't be there. He'll get you right between the eyes.
Those words aged like fine wine, and the Cavs had to find out for themselves. After the Cavs' ugly playoff exit, James Harden has now lost a Game 7 with 4 different franchises: Houston, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, the Clippers. No player in NBA history has ever lost a winner-take-all Game 7 with 4 different teams, and that's a record that's hard to beat. Nonetheless, James Harden's career should never be reduced to playoff failures, because at the end of the day, he's an MVP and a 3-time scoring champion. He's one of the greatest offensive players the NBA has ever seen. His regular season resume guarantees him a place among basketball's all-time greats. But that's exactly why Kobe Bryant's comments continue to resonate. Because Harden's talent is located in a body that will not be able to withstand real pressure. Years later, NBA legends like Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal saw it too. Then the media heads did as well. But hopefully, James Harden can turn things around with the Cavs. Do you think he can get a ring before retiring? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to see what else legendary Kobe Bryant predicted before he went, watch why Kobe Bryant was totally right about Steph Curry next.